Hey guys, it's Steve Zalunardo here with Remax West Zalunardo Associates. A different topic today just regarding the cannabis law that's going to be passed in Ontario or in Canada, but we're talking about Ontario here. It's going to be passed in October 17th. So this allows you the right to purchase marijuana, grow marijuana up to 4 plants per household, and also smoke marijuana. Now, I hope people don't get confused from this because I was yesterday in Dufferin and Wilson. There was a guy smoking a big joint walking across the street. I think he thinks the law is just endless where you can do whatever you want with it. It's not the case. You literally got to be contained in an area to smoke marijuana, so you can't be smoking in your backyard and like it's disturbing your neighbor's household with kids and pets. So ultimately it's got to be in a contained area as long as that's clear. The problem with this is if you got rental property. I think this is my biggest fear, and that's number one is smoking is one thing. My tenants don't smoke in the house, but also the growth of marijuana. I think you can grow up to 4 plants in your household legally. I know the government's being nonchalant about it and saying that it's not going to affect anything. It's not going to do anything with your household. It's not going to affect the the overall condition of the house. I don't really think so. I think if you've ever been into a grow up, number one, mind you, those were abused houses. Hundreds of plants. That's a different story. But bring it down to 4 plants, let's say, in a condo or in a small townhouse. Ultimately, you're going to be watering these plants daily. You're gonna put a lot of nutrients, which is chemicals. A lot of this lighting system that's going to be on 24/7 to keep the plant growing. So again, there's a fire hazard all within itself if it's not wired properly. And you're putting a lot of wear and tear on the house even with the electrical running 24/7. Let's say high-powered lights. Mind you, they probably have different lighting systems now with the new LEDs, but I mean ultimately it's still 24/7 on our power grid in a sense, and or our power grid of our house. And going back to the potential mold. Like, have you ever been into an elder person's house? You smell that musky air. It's basically the plants just regenerating it in the house, growing it and letting off fumes. It is what it is. It's toxins. And if you've ever seen marijuana grow or smelt it, it's very potent. Just 4 plants can really, depending on how size. Because I was just reading about this. So there's no regulations on the size. So if you've ever seen some marijuana plants can grow up to 8 feet, even more, maybe 10 feet. So if you got 10 or 4 of these 10-foot trees that say in an open to above or something of that nature, it's a little bit different than while the government's talking about these little hatchlings. It's not. It could be an 8-foot tree, 4 of them growing in your house. So it's definitely going to create a lot of conditions where the air quality is not going to be good anymore. You're going to have a stigma of smell in it. Sale of the property, let's say you're showing the property, now you can't get away from that smell of the growth of marijuana. Now you're basically selling a grow up. So a house, we've seen it all. Houses that are worth a lot more money than what they are sell for a lot less because of the growth of marijuana. So I mean, this is a huge concern for me. So I'm just right now, and again, going back to the mortgage companies, I think they should weigh in on this, because if they're lending out money on a certain value of a property, and now there's going to be growth of marijuana legally in there, how does the value of that property turn out? If they're lending you $500,000 on a property, and now because it's a stigmatized property because of the growth of marijuana, what's that property worth now? I think the banks should be really more terrified about this than, let's say, us as consumers that buy properties and rent them out to tenants. So that's a few concerns of mine, and also the insurance companies. I think that's got to be a huge thing with them too, having power run 24/7. Basically having a little greenhouse in your house, which is not. I don't think it's desirable for an insurance company, especially how risk adverse they are with everything they do today. And that's it. So I'll be basically chatting with my lawyer, mortgage agent, and just find out more about what they're doing internally as a bank, insurance agent, and also the provincial law, just to kind of see what they're doing with that new lease agreement that we have to attach to every lease in the province of Ontario. It doesn't specify anything about the growth of marijuana, nor where to smoke this. So I don't know if we can adjust this and put our own clause in there, or we don't permit this. So it's going to be definitely, and we're only 3 weeks away, so I gotta get hustling on this, because I want to send out a letter to all my clients, basically a replica letter that I'm going to send out to my tenants, so we can get ahead of this and stay on top of the game, because we're not in the money or in the game of losing money. We're in here to make money, so we don't want to lose money for something that governments pass without thinking about it. So that's it. So this is basically part 1, and then I guess part 2 we'll get the conclusion of this and what we're going to put in for clauses regarding this potential new hazard for us investors. Thanks guys, have a great day.